Welcome everybody to the Get Busy podcast. It's boy B Jones coming in with your boy Izzy straight from his crib. You know what I'm saying?
We
We're
in this
doing this
thing.
Zoom style today.
Zoom steezy.
How you feeling, man?
Man, it's a great day, bro. It really is. It's a great day. It's a little bit warm out here in these Georgia streets, but it's starting to cool down. We're in a nice little bit of shade, so it feels good.
Good. Hey man, so I just want to do a short one today. I wanted to talk about this LeBron decision.
Bruh. So man, honestly, it was the one decision I didn't see coming. Like, I thought Cleveland, that one made the most sense to me. I thought Miami, I was like, okay, that makes a little bit of sense. On paper, though, it looks good. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
On paper, it
looks
does look
really
good.
tremendous, but that's a whole lot of ball to go around, man, with a whole bunch of people that need it. You know what I'm saying? That's the only concern I got with it. But if anybody is capable of absolutely maximizing, it's the smartest player that's ever touched the basketball with the highest basketball IQ and the one that's able to do everything on a basketball court. You know what I'm saying? So there's a couple of things that you can't say about LeBron, and one of them, you can't say he's not a great leader, and you can't say that he doesn't know everything that's supposed to happen on the basketball court. So from a leadership standpoint, from a getting it done standpoint, I think that you don't have a better general to go into battle with than LeBron James. So if they're all on the same page, it could really be a championship. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So
With or without Embiid.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, they have enough without him. I say that, but still, New York is a stacked team. You know what I'm saying?
It is. And it's deep. The Knicks are deep.
They got a deep bench too. So
Yep.
I think it's probably going to be even, and they've been playing together, so they already got the cohesion.
I'm gonna tell you that we're gonna miss Mitchell Robinson, man. People kind of, I know he didn't get a lot of points, you know what I'm saying? But man, like those rebounds, those offensive boards, man, you can't replace that. Andre Drummond is cool. He's just way past his prime.
Yeah.
But yeah, go ahead.
We'll see what happens, man. But I think, like you said, if you're gonna put a bunch of stars on one team, and so I think because of LeBron's IQ and his willingness and his love of playmaking and passing,
absolutely.
I think he's one of the players that he knows he doesn't need the ball, and he knows what his role. So I think when he was this last season with the Lakers,
yep,
he kind of played that third wheel.
It took a little bit in the season before he did it, but then he let them try to figure it out throughout the season. But towards the second half of the season, that like right after the All-Star break, they decided to make a change, and he was going to be the third option. You know what I mean? And they took off and had like one of the greatest months of basketball in NBA history. And I didn't realize that until I was listening to something like yesterday. They were saying about the analytics of that 1 month of basketball before Luka ended up getting hurt again.
Yeah.
They say it was like record breaking, like all sorts of, I don't know all the analytics when it comes to that, but it was great. And to your point, man, like he's the smartest basketball player we've ever seen, and there's nothing that he can't. Well, he's at least in the top whatever the number is, right?
For sure. So I think with that experience of him taking the back seat and seeing how well it worked in LA, he knows, and at this team, he's going to have to take some type of a back seat.
He definitely should.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Because for one, he's 41 years old now. You're getting older. You got a bunch of young up and coming stars. You got Jaylen Brown, Finals MVP, in his physical prime.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So you got a lot going for you that you really at this point, like your job is just like, don't mess it up. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, he could be like the man. Some of our younger audience probably won't remember this man, but Robert Parrish. You know what I'm saying? I was with the Celtics. He got really old, and his last couple of championships, he was just there to pick up some boards, be a big body. You know what I mean? But once upon a time, he was that dude. You know what I mean? Like offenses ran through him. You know what I mean? But he kind of fell back a little bit as well. So I think LeBron, or even Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, did the same thing. Like his last 2-3 championships, man, he was only getting like 12 points. But when they needed him, they could still go to him. And so if LeBron is not if the other players are willing to work, because I think it's still going to be a little bit of an issue with Tyrese Maxey and Jaylen Brown.
Yeah, because they're younger.
Yeah,
BJ Edgecombe, I was watching some of his highlights. I didn't even know who it was.
he's
That dude can
nice.
ball too.
He's
Man, he
nice, bro.
nasty.
Yeah.
Oh my God, he's nasty with it, man. He kind of reminded me of Dwayne Wade a little bit. Like
Yeah, I can
that
give you that.
guard,
Yeah, yeah.
that guard, but he could block shots too.
Yep.
He can get up and he's fast. Bro, just energy. So I think the challenge is gonna be those younger guys.
Mm-hmm.
Really the other four, really. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like,
Yeah, that's
okay,
it. It's not LeBron, because he's going to be able to do whatever is
yeah.
necessary. He's going to be able to do it.
But
And go ahead.
if you're gonna bring another star to the team, somebody that everybody respects, you know what I'm saying? And I think they'll be okay to, like, you know what, let's listen to what he got to say.
You gotta be. We're talking about LeBron James. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like,
yeah,
it's not. I mean, it's not even like, people give that level of deference when it comes to, regular players that have, championship. Like, for example, Lou Dort just went to the Hawks, right? It's
mhm,
people on the Hawks that's going to have to listen to what Lou Dort said, because he's been to the mountaintop. You know what I mean? He's got
yeah,
experience. So yeah, that's respected no matter what. We're talking about
sure,
the at worst case scenario in everybody's mind. He's at the worst, the third best player of all time. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And and most people have him one or two, period. You know what I'm saying? So you're talking about, man, Derek Fisher said something that I really respected. He said, it's not ring chasing if you're the one that's bringing the hardware. I said, ooh, boy. Now, when you think about it,
ooh,
everywhere LeBron went, he brought the championship. He went to Miami, he brought them a championship. Dwayne got one before, but then they had years without it, right? LeBron comes
yeah,
championship. Cleveland, he brought them the championship. The Lakers, they were in the bottom of the league, with Kobe for the last like 6 years, 4 or 5 years of his career, right? And
yeah,
then he brought a championship. So, and Joel Embiid and them hadn't even sniffed the conference finals. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
you got to defer to LeBron, or at least not defer, but you have to have an open and willing ear to imagine.
You don't need to defer to his play, but you need to
No,
divert,
listen to what he's saying. Yeah,
yeah, to his voice.
to his
Yeah,
wisdom, to get that experience. And then also, man, the other side of it is, think about when Anthony Davis was with LeBron James. He got the most out of him, right? He had the longest period of time that he was playing. He was also the healthiest, so perhaps, hearing that, seeing that regimen, seeing how serious LeBron takes things might help Embiid in that regard. But I'm not sold on the Embiid part of it. In my mind, if they can just not play him until the playoffs comes, and then yeah, he can give him whatever they can give him, chemistry, everything else. I don't think he's going to be a real option. But man, for VJ Edgecombe, who's a young player, who's only like his second year in the league, Tyrese Maxey, who's a budding star but is in the way of growing, and Jaylen Brown, who unfortunately was not able to be on that Olympic team to actually see how some of the great, great greats go about their daily routine. I think that LeBron James being on that team is going to catapult the trajectory for their careers. Like, there's no way that you can leave that situation and be the same player or even a slightly better player. I think you don't have any choice after playing with LeBron, but especially for players of that caliber, but to be 10 times better after LeBron leaves than when he got there.
yeah, for sure. And then he's played with Embiid, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying, with
yeah, he
the
played with Embiid in
Olympics.
the Olympics. Yep.
Like you said, he should have been Jaylen Brown there, but we all know what happened with that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I think it's gonna be interesting to see. They can make that work. Like, that's a championship team. It's really kind of like, that's one of those, like, only we can to stop us, like only we
Hmm.
can beat us type situations. If you know what I'm saying, if it's like, if you put ego before winning, or if you listen to all the outside voices,
Yes.
you know what I'm saying, and then you're gonna have a problem. And so, like, when I was listening, I would, kind of check out a lot of what was going on during the free agency, and like, a lot of people um criticizing LeBron for taking so long to make a decision. And then
Man.
after he made his decision, always ring chasing, or he's, it's not fair, and da 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 da. And so, I think, in these situations, the best thing to do, like, that I want to, like, tell our audience, is whether you're a, basketball fan or not, whether you're a LeBron fan or not, um, if you can learn from the people do who are making moves and doing great things, and try to
Mm.
apply that to your life,
Hmm.
especially with people that you don't really like, whether it's like, because like I wasn't a Kobe fan. It wasn't personal with
Yeah.
Kobe. It was just basketball for me.
Yeah.
'Cause Laker fans were like the most annoying people. I ain't like Kobe. When Shaq went over, I liked Shaq before when he was with the Magic. When he went over to, LA, I didn't like Shaq no more.
Yeah.
But like I look at like a lot of like Kobe like motivational videos,
Absolutely.
save them to my YouTube playlist. I play them for my kid. You know what I'm saying? Like, because he's got like a lot of jewels from just the greatness and his work ethic and his mentality. And so it doesn't matter that I didn't like him as a basketball player. Like I had no
But you
problem with
can
him as a
appreciate
person.
them though, and that's the thing
For
about it
sure.
is that you can find appreciation, and like that's the one thing that I encourage people to do as well because there's a lot of hate, and it's like you really don't have a reason for it. But
Yeah.
if you can find a way, because what we're witnessing is greatness, you know what I'm saying? And so if you can find a way to attach appreciation to it, then you can pull something that's actually beneficial out of it. And that to your point, because I was not the biggest Kobe fan either when he was playing. I mean, I didn't dislike him, but I I did like Kobe, but I wasn't like the biggest Kobe fan. I never liked the Lakers. I just, so it was just one of those things. And I'm an East Coast guy. But unfortunately for me, after he passed away, it's like I got so much more appreciation for him after he passed, because like I started seeing and started hearing a lot more about what he was doing with other players and how he was
Yeah.
helping. And, I didn't even realize all the stuff that he was doing behind the scenes, with like other NBA players or fans and other stuff, you know what I mean? And same thing with
Yeah.
LeBron. Like, he, you talk about, like I just said, man, you're not chasing if you're the one that's bringing it, And you're talking about 41 years old, 24 years in the league, 21, 6, and 7, bro. There's players that's been in the league for 3 years right now that were first round draft picks that's not making 21, 6, and 7. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You're first a number one draft pick, your third year in the league, and you ain't even averaging 21.6 rebounds and 7 assists. So I mean, what are we talking about? Like, there's greatness in that no matter what. And then outside of the basketball court, as like a person that has the spotlight on him at all times, how he goes about his business moves and transactions, but also taking care of his family and being a husband and a father. Like, I don't know what goes on in their household, but the things that we're able to see, you can't poke any holes at, It's like
Yeah.
he's just, there's no negative publicity, there's no scandal, there's no trifling, tweets and texts. There's nothing that you can say about him that's negative in any regard, other than he made a decision that you didn't like, or he went to a team and okay, you know what I mean. But outside of
Yeah.
that, so man, people just got to start appreciating life in general, man. I think too many times we spend time focusing on the wrong things, and I think our society is built to like hate. I feel like 2026, this time of life, social media and everything, the way that social media disconnects people and emboldens them. And you operate from like, 'cause I've seen it even where like, the player will be, standing secretly, behind the scenes or something. And then somebody will be interviewing someone. Well, what do you think about this person, this player? Oh man, he's a bum and blah, 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 blah. And then I'm like, and then the guy will come around, and then they're like, oh man, sorry, I just was mad about this, that, the other,
Right. Right.
like, you probably, if you had a chance to be with LeBron or to sit down and talk to him or, get an autograph, whatever it is, you'll probably love it. You know what I mean? But,
Yeah.
somewhere
Yeah. For
inside you
sure.
got that hate. But anyway, that's just my little
Yeah.
spiel.
No, I mean that's a good point. Like I think with our current society, and this is not me like telling people like you should like LeBron because of this. Like
Right.
I don't really care. Like dislike and like whoever you want. You know what I'm saying? But like the fact that people are getting up in arms over a 41-year-old, it just speaks to his greatness. You know what I'm saying? Whether you think he's the GOAT or not, it doesn't matter. It's like you got to respect the longevity and for somebody to be able to play at a high level for that long. We've never seen it in any other athlete
No.
before at that level. So, you know what I'm saying? You gotta, if you're, I look at it this way. If, if you like LeBron or if you hate him, if your child ended up being the LeBron James of whatever it is that he does, would you be proud of your kid?
Right.
If he ended up being the
Right.
Michael Jordan of
Right.
his thing or
Right.
the Kobe
Right.
Bryant of his
Right.
thing,
Right. Right.
you know what I'm saying? So it's like you got to, see that. And I think the lesson, well, let me go back to what you were saying, like with social media and like society, it is like we have so much access to people and the people's thoughts. You know, you read the comments, you look at everybody's reactions, you go down and you read, and you see like all the, you know, whether the love, the glazing or the hate or whatever you want to call it. You know, we're just so, man, it's just, yeah, it's just too many opinions, I think, and too many people like, it's just like, I remember seeing a story like somebody end up shooting somebody over a LeBron Jordan debate. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
What's up, boo boo?
I'm confident. Okay, and I'm doing something right now. I'll do it when I come back in the house, okay? Okay.
I see you try to go outside to hide. They found you. You out there in the hot sun trying to get some quiet.
Look,
Close the door, go inside.
look, and I heard the door open. And I got my hand behind my back trying to wave. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
I'm like, not paying no
Hey man,
attention.
hey, look, it happens. You know what I'm saying? It happens. She wanted to be a part of the podcast. But
Hey, it's all good.
but yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? It's just, I think we do kind of live in a society where we as a people, we get probably a little bit too emotionally caught up sometimes in things that don't really involve our lives, like, you know, like
100%.
sport. You know, in this case, it would be sports. And so, you know, we had talked about, like, you know, a few podcasts ago, like the way we kind of both did the same thing with politics and sports. Like we had to like
Detach a little bit.
detach a little bit, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because it can, you know, we don't need that extra stress.
No, man. And it can consume you. It can consume your thought process, you know, it can consume your attitude and your mindset if you allow it to, you know?
For sure, for sure. So, you know, I like this. So this is what I've been thinking about. It's like, I was thinking about what lesson can I pull from this, you know, the LeBron decision to go to Philly. And, you know, the thing I concluded was set yourself up in a way where you can make the fun decisions later and don't worry about what other people think. And so, you know, like I said, I'm gonna get soon, probably next one or two podcasts. I'm gonna have my wife on.
Okay.
I'm gonna talk about
there we go.
just our decisions, and we made a lot of sacrifices that were very uncomfortable and not fun.
Yes.
So that, you know, fast forward like 10 years when we started that decision, like with our finances, we're able to do things now that we wouldn't have been able to do had we not sacrificed up front. And so whether that's, you know, a LeBron James or, you know, sacrificing to become, you know, one of the greatest players ever, and, you know, making those, I'm pretty sure like he wanted to eat and the foods he, you know, taste good and not work out all the time. Like I've heard him on his podcast be like, his body like is talking back to him right now. You know, he's getting older. He's like, wow,
getting older, yeah,
doing this, but he still loves the game. So he invests. You know, they say like he puts like millions of dollars into his body, into his training a year, to be able to keep going and doing what he wants to do. And so I'm pretty sure like that stuff wasn't fun, especially as you get older. It's not fun, but like now you're at the point where you're like, I don't really need the money. I'm just going to take $4 million a year and I'm going to go to this team that's already pretty loaded and give us a chance to like just have fun and win a championship. Who cares what anybody else says? Like, bro, you 41, do your thing. You know what I'm saying? Like the fact that you're still in the NBA is God's grace, and then it's also a testament to your hard work. And so, you know what I'm saying? Like
that's 100% it.
Yeah. And so that's my message to anybody, man. Like,
hey, so to that point, right, is, man, choose your hard, right? Because it's hard now to do the thing. Oh, I'm missing out on the fun. Like you said, sacrifice, you know, oh, I want to eat this. I want to do this. I don't feel like going to class, or I don't want to save this money. I want to spend it and go do that, or whatever it is, right? And it's challenging to exercise that level of discipline, right? And that's hard for a lot of people, but it's also hard later, right? So you can either choose to sacrifice now, what the hard, you can put the hard work in now, or you're going to have to work hard later, and it's going to be much harder later. And I
Yeah.
think that's one thing that you can look at with these athletes, specifically with this LeBron situation, is that, to your point, he set himself up in such a way that even the hard work that he's doing right now is so routine that it's by now become enjoyable. Like people, I was listening to Joe Johnson, ISO Joe, the other day. He's talking about how how he can't wait to get into the weight room. He's doing yoga and Pilates, and he's like, I love it. He's like, Unc, I used to hate it. He said, but I knew I needed to stay in it so I can keep my career. Now he doesn't even play basketball anymore, but it became so much of a routine that it's something that like is a benefit for his life. And so with all of us, right? Like I don't, I spent so much time not budgeting before that when I actually started it and I saw that it was actually working and saw that tithing was actually working, it's like, I don't ever want to go back to the point where I'm not tithing. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't ever want
Yeah.
to go back to the point where I'm not, and it seemed difficult once upon a time. And it's the same principles, the same thing that's happening right now. Like it's still money, man, you got to give that type of money away, at the beginning. Yeah, And before my mindset was like, dang, Now it's like, man, I can't wait to get this up out of here because, I know what's coming behind it. And so
Yeah.
choose your hard, so many of us get stuck, and I've been a victim of it, right? I had a great lot of fun in my earlier years and playing catch up on the back end. I'm very grateful for the foundation that's set. I'm very grateful for examples like you have shown for a long time, and a wife that's given me the grace of understanding, but also the accountability to keep pushing forward and to get this thing on track. But not everybody has to make that mistake if we choose if we choose the win that we want to do what we need to do. And so it gets, my dad used to tell me something. He says, son, it gets greater later, but the only way that can happen is if you make it happen that way. So to LeBron's decision, yeah, he held up, TV deals, not the TV deals, but the scheduling for which team was going to be put on which days on which stations.
Yeah.
But if you and this is one other thing I'm gonna say about this real quick, because I just thought about it. Like, if you do things the right way, sometimes there will be a pause, right? LeBron has exercised himself to be in a position to make the decision that he wants to make, how he needs to make it. And what that looks like in the life of a believer is sometimes most times the rush decision is not the right thing, right? You might get pressure from over here. Hey, what are you going to do? You might get pressure from over here. Hey, what are you going to do? What do you want to do? But the right answer is sometimes we need to wait. We need to ask God what it is. Hey, look, Lord, what is it that you're asking me to do in this moment? Where do you see me going right now? What is it where are you pulling me towards? And and that might hold some people up. That might hold some things up in your life. That might hold some thoughts. It might hold a job opportunity. It might hold any number of things up. The same way Adam Silver was like, hey, LeBron, come on, bro. Like we got to get things going. And LeBron was like, no, I got to do this the way I need to do it. And that's kind of how God is with us. It's like, just because, my wife might be saying something or my job might be saying something or this, business opportunity or whatever it is, kid might be, whatever it is, right? Don't just bob and weave with the external factors that are coming your direction. Make sure that we're staying grounded and make sure that we're keeping our eyes focused, keeping God first, and looking to hear from the Lord in the direction that we're going. Not a big booming voice, but a spirit, something that's going to let you know when it's the right decision to make a move. And I don't want to get too far off on that topic, but the only way to actually cultivate that where, so many people are like, yeah, I prayed, I'm trying to hear. The only way you can actually get to that place is if we put a little bit of work in seeking God's word, because we all want to hear from God, but how many of us are putting the work in so that so our ears will be able to hear it when it's being said. So,
Bro, that's where I am right now, man. So, there's areas where I'm glad I put the hard work in early. And there's a lot of areas of regret where I didn't put the work in and now I'm trying to play catch up. And so, right now it's developing that habit of getting in God's word every day.
mhm.
So I can develop my, my ears to hear his voice because I just want direction from him. And so, it's like, man, if I could have went back and did it over, would took all this wisdom from now and applied it to my 20s, who knows? But we can't go back in time. So
Nope.
only thing you can do is start now. So, just to conclude what we're talking about, my call to action to anybody watching, what's that hard thing that you've been putting off?
Mm.
Don't put it off anymore. Because
Don't put it
no
off.
matter what age you are now, a couple of years from now, you're going to wish you would have started today. You know what I'm saying? So
Absolutely.
whatever that dream is, whatever that phone call you need to make, whoever you need to forgive. That investment, that job, that whatever it is that you've been wanting to do, that you should be doing. It's just like the parable of the talents. It's like, what are you doing with the talents that God
Mm,
gave you? So, we hope we can inspire and encourage you guys to move forward and do that thing that God calls you to do, whatever that is.
absolutely.
And so you can make some LeBron decisions later on and just, make
Absolutely.
fun decisions with your life and enjoy this life that you've been blessed with. So we just thank y'all so much for tuning in. So until next time, it's your boy B Jones.
Izzy, yo, not only have a great week, make it a great week. And until next time, get busy.
Get busy.
Peace.
Peace.